The following show may cause you to think differently. Welcome to Sing Out Loud with Ella Glasgow, the show where we highlight people who are doing just that. From authors to coaches to artists and everyone in between, the guests on this show have found a way to push past their fears and truly live life out loud. And through their stories and service to the world, are encouraging you to do the same. Joining the show today is our featured guest, Take Charge coach Donna Tornillo, and on the artist stage, jazz vocalist Deanne Matley. And I'm your host, Ella Glasgow, and it's time for you to sing out loud. Hi, welcome to our next awesome episode of Sing Out Loud, where we are highlighting amazing people who are living their dreams and encouraging others around them to do the same. I'm your host, Ella Glasgow, a vocal impact expert. You know, one thing I love to do is to encourage people to speak their dreams. It's amazing the impact the power of your own voice has on not just others, but on you. And when we can get really clear on what we want and begin to speak those things out loud, our lives can change quite quickly in amazing ways. It's when we speak that we begin to realize we have the power to take charge of our own lives. And for today's featured guest, nothing could be more true. 15 years ago, her life changed in the blink of an eye. Her family, emotional, and financial security disappeared without warning. And feeling the effects of abandonment and shame from the explosive events, she crawled under the proverbial rock to hide until she realized she had to take charge to grow and experience life again. She embarked on a journey of transformation and expansion and felt called to share what she had learned with others about reinventing life. Now, as the Take Charge coach and mentor, using a variety of tools, including tarot and astrology, she helps women and men reinvent their story and live joyfully, limitless, with clarity, connection, courage, and confidence. The conversation I had with her about her life now was tremendous. Join me as I talk with my next guest and friend, Donna Tornillo. Donna! How are you?
I am fantastic,
excited.
Ella.
I am so excited that you are here today and have you talk about some really, really neat things. So, Donna, you do tarology, what do we call it?
Well, I started off as a tarot astrologist.
Okay.
Actually, back in my hippie days, way back when astrology first became of interest, I was really excited about that. So I had the long hair parted down the middle and the bell bottoms and such. So from there, I kept in. I was always learning about it. I even took some courses in it. And then after I retired from teaching, I really realized that there was something more I needed to be doing with my life, and I wasn't sure what that was. So I started just searching and exploring and came across a friend of mine who became a mentor. And with that, one of the things that she taught was tarot. Now, I really had no clue about tarot, no interest, but all of a sudden it attracted me. I was supposed to be merging it with the astrology. So I then became a tarot astrologist. So I used tarot within the 12 houses of the zodiac. That was wonderful. That was exciting. But what happened was the more I did it and the more people I worked with, their next question was, okay, I love what you told me, but what do I do with this information? And so organically, my coaching business began. And so that's how I moved into that.
Wow. Okay. So we call it tarot astrology?
Yes.
Okay.
Tarot astrology. Yes.
That's so interesting. And you're right. I mean, I had never really been to a tarot person or an astrologer. However, I looked at astrology readings and things, over the years because you read them in the newspaper.
Right.
But you're right. That people don't necessarily know what to do with that information after they've received it, except for either be really excited or really scared by by what it is that they've learned. So now you've put all of this together and you've got the coaching practice as a piece of all of this together. So how does that work?
The tarot astrology is actually just one of the tools now that I use within that, because I still use other strategies, and I still, we still work on a plan, because the whole point is once you have that reading, you realize what it is that you want to do, what direction you want to take, then we create a plan. The tarot astrology reading it acts not only as the beginning of finding out where we are as an assessment, it also acts as an assessment along the way. But there are still other coaching tools and strategies that I also use within the whole time that we work together. My main focus is with people in transition.
Okay.
And this really helps them decide where they're going to go. I tend to practice tarot in a different way of traditional tarot people, and that is that I don't use reverse cards. Reverse cards are wonderful. They aren't a bad thing, but people tend to say, I would do an 8-card reading and there would be one reverse card and there would be 7 beautiful upright cards, and the focus would be on the reverse card.
Gotcha. So for those of us that haven't experienced reverse cards, upright cards, can you explain what you mean by that and give us kind of a visual so that we have a better understanding?
Well, let me just grab a card right now.
You see how I did that?
Yeah, I saw that. That's so clever. You are, Ella, does not surprise me. You are so good. I pull out one of my favorite cards, and it happened to be on top. So this one happens to be the alchemist, and that is the magician. Takes all the pieces and puts them together. This is an upright card. Reverse card generally shows, okay, there's something that needs to be worked on. It's not necessarily horrible. It's not necessarily, and it really isn't. It's just that, okay, maybe you need to take a look at how you're pulling the pieces together that you're trying to put into your plan. Maybe all the pieces won't fit properly, but this shows it's all working great.
Gotcha.
It doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's delayed because there's something you have to look at.
Okay, so reverse means when you lay the card on the table, it's either reverse to them or upside down to them or right side to them.
Exactly.
Okay. Are we all together now, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I figure if there's something that someone needs to hear to clarify what they are doing, it's going to come out in an upright card, or a card that's upright looking the way it's supposed to. It's going to come out. It doesn't matter. Whatever energy it is that someone brings to this space, because it's a very energetic, vibrational process, just like everything in life.
Right.
I mean, think about your voice and how you use your voice. That's a vibration, and that vibration changes. Yes, I know it's your favorite thing. It just happens to be what you do.
Right.
And that vibration changes depending upon the level that you're working with within that voice, or within what you're doing, or within the type of song that you're singing. So it's the same thing. We're looking at the vibration that we're feeling of our own energy, and that song, if you will, changes depending upon how you're feeling.
Nice. So, Donna, I know that you said you studied this, you said years ago, but how did you come to know that this was something that was a gift to you that should have been developed? What was going on that even brought you to this space?
It's interesting because with teaching, you have to be intuitive. You know, you're making 25 decisions every minute of the day with 25 students involved in that classroom at that time. And I had 5th graders. So you definitely, you know, with whatever level of student, you have to be intuitive and know what's going on and anticipate. I just didn't recognize that that's what I was doing. I didn't realize that all of that was involved in it. And part of it is that, you know, when we're children, and this is the beauty of having a 2-year-old grandson who's fully engaged in life and unconditionally just manifesting all over the place because he's a 2-year-old. Right. He doesn't know any differently that things don't happen that way because he hasn't been taught what our adult rules are.
It's so true. You have to, I was just speaking with someone the other day. They were asking my son if he was afraid of a particular thing. And I said, we haven't taught him fear. Mm-hmm. So no, because they were trying to find something that he was afraid of, whether I think it was either a spider or something that was outside that typically people would be afraid of. And we said, we haven't taught him fear. He's not afraid of that. He's not afraid of anything really because we haven't taught him fear.
Right. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, we do have to teach being cautious because there is that being cautious, and there is the fear that people should know for instance, going to play in the street, that's something that we should be aware of and be cautious. So there are some things, but to have just free floating fear, no.
Exactly.
But I was raised then later, well, you don't think about those things. You don't talk like that. You don't act like that. So it just all gets squelched down within most of us as, you know, we grow up in these beliefs that we're given.
Right.
So once I realized that it didn't have to exist, I could be something else, then I could then learn for myself. And in that learning and in my life experiences, had to gain that overcoming of fear.
Oh my goodness gracious, Donna. There are so many things that I want to talk with you about, but we don't have the time.
I'll just have to come back again.
You'll have to come back on another episode. But right now, what we're going to do, I know that you guys are enjoying this conversation that we're having because there's so much in this. And we're not going to leave Donna. She's going to come back and do some really cool stuff with us. But before we do, right now, we're going to head over to the artist stage.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. Though there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll find the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Though there's a tear, maybe ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. And smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. If you just smile.
We are back. Thank you so much for sharing your talent with us. That was some cool stuff. And we've got Donna back with us as I promised. And Donna, you were telling me that you would like to show everyone a reading so that we can see how it actually is involved with your life and how it brings clarity to what it is that you're doing. It's just one of the tools. You were telling me it's just one of the tools you use in your coaching. It's not the whole practice. It's just a piece of the practice.
Yes, it is. And so I'm just going to grab a card randomly from the deck. Okay. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, I had to double check. This is because I'm looking at it on the small screen and I wanted to make sure I chose the name correctly. Yes. This is the Ace of Pentacles. And the ace in any deck is like actually there's 4 suits within the tarot deck. The air sign, the earth sign, water, and fire. And this is the earth sign. It's this section of the deck called the minor arcana is built around our playing card deck. It has the numbered cards and the court cards. This is the first card of Pentacles, which is the earth sign.
Okay.
This, anytime we have an ace, it's about how we have inspiration to start again. Pentacles, as you can see, looks like a coin, so it relates to money. It relates to the grounding and I call it more first chakra related. And so this is about planning the ideas, planting the ideas, creating the ideas. And in this deck that I use, the Illuminati deck, the symbol is always handed on a hand, as you see here. And this is what I call the hand of God. So this is giving you the ideas for creating wealth, creating abundance, whatever kind of abundance you want to talk about, whether it be money, whether it be love, whether it be whatever. But this is about the inspiration, the beginnings, planting the seed, creating the ideas that bring you on your path of where you need to go. You have to start inspired. You have to start with an idea, and that's what this card is.
Nice.
So depending upon where it appears in the house of the zodiac, because the card is pulled within the 12 houses. For instance, if this were pulled and for the second house of the zodiac, that's what relates to money and abundance. So here it is, the beginning of receiving money and abundance, the beginning of your plan to create it, because that's what that house relates to. If this appeared in the career house, it would be, okay, there's a new plan with your job or career that's going to be creating money for you. So it all depends on where the card appears.
Okay.
But that's
so you
what
take
this
the
means.
cards. Okay. So you take the cards, and when you do the session with someone, you use these particular cards to help them to understand how the plan that you guys are going to be working on together will unfold.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Very cool. I mean, I have to be honest, I haven't had an opportunity to do a card reading session with you yet, but I have been in the room when you've used some of the other tools that you use to help people get clarity. And I am not sad about the experiences that I've had with you when I've been in the rooms, because they have been some really, really cool things and have brought a lot of clarity with just some of the meditations that you've done to help bring about some more of the vision that I had for myself. And even though it was a room full of a whole bunch of people, it was really neat to be a part of that experience as a group and see how your tools work, not just on an individual level, but on a group level as well. I think that's great. I think that's great.
Oh, well, thank you, because you were truly inspired. And the whole point of those meditations, and if you are receptive to listening to the meditation, it's bringing out the answers that are already inside of you.
Right.
Or being able to listen to the divine messages that are being given to you. Either way, it's that divine connection that gives you that inspired action or ideas. And you got them.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
I'm very happy with the inspired ideas that I got. So, and you know that we're working on those things, but we're running out of time, and I don't want us to lose the time before we do move into one of my favorite parts of the show. It's time, everybody, for What's Your Fave?
You just have too much fun with this, Ella.
We have to have fun, or else it's just
exactly. No, we gotta have fun.
So Donna, I ask people some questions, and today the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is your favorite sign?
Sign meaning of the zodiac?
Yeah.
Well, interesting that you should ask that, because there are I happen to be what's called a double Leo. So I do happen to like Leo. I happen to like fire signs as well. So my son is a Sagittarius rising. And my husband was a Sagittarius rising. So that fire and that inspiration. But they all bring something special and deep and wonderful to the blend. So you don't want to be or have people in your life that are a clone of you. So I love the balance that happens with even opposite signs. The opposite of Leo is Aquarius. Okay. So I tend to like that balance, and I tend to love the fire signs. So
nice.
I like them all. I like them all.
Very cool. So my next question for you is on a deeper level. When you are 97 years old, sitting on the front porch of your house, what would you like to look back at your life at having achieved?
The word that just drops in immediately is love. And that love is about sharing love of family, sharing love of, watching the light that comes on in people, sharing the love of, because my purpose really is to show people how powerful they are. And that power comes with loving yourself first, along with loving everyone else. So it's all about love, seeing the achievement and understanding in people, and especially my family, of that love of themselves, of what they do, of the people around them, of the gifts that they've been given, that appreciation and love that just, it tends to embrace us and just make us feel so cared for and loved. And so that's the word that I can say.
Well, you just moved right into my next question.
Okay.
Which would be, what if there was one word?
You don't call me an intuitive for nothing.
I know, right? Stop intuiting my questions. If there was one word that you would leave everyone with today, I think you really kind of explained it, but if there's another word that you would leave everybody with today, what would that one word be?
Well, I've already given you the one. So the second word I have to say is trust. That to trust yourself, trust in the universe, that all that your desires will come if you allow it. And that trust in knowing that it's there for you just makes the world open up even more than you could ever imagine. So yes, it's trust.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Donna, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us and letting us know a little bit more about what it is that you do and how you are singing out loud to the world. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before we go?
I want to just say thank you about how much I appreciate you. You came into my life just a few months ago, and I feel like you've always been here. I feel like such a connection that we have, and I so love our time together, and I love that you have allowed me to share this time with you and your viewers and listeners. So thank you so much. So all I want to say is I appreciate you.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And Donna, you've watched the show. You know there's a particular way that I sign off. So we're going to throw up our deuces. And we are going to say to everybody, I got stuff to do. And you got stuff to do. So go out there and give your dreams a kick in the pants.
That's exactly right.